Alright friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kristen and this is Growing Zone 9B. So today here in Florida, it's actually fairly windy, but it's very hot here. Our feel like temperature today was 104, so we are definitely dealing with the heat. But friends, I always encourage you all to be sharing your produce and your fruit and your veggies with people, because when you put good out in the world, good can come back to you. And today we were blessed with a bunch of mangoes. So my friend at work, her sister has a mango plant, and apparently her sister doesn't really care for mangoes that much, which I love mangoes and she loves mangoes. She's actually making some mango salsa. And she was telling me about it, and I was telling her how much I love mangoes and that my mango tree had died in the last frost that we had. And so my parents still have their mango, but it's not really done a lot of producing. And she brought me, friends, a bunch of mangoes. Look at all the beautiful mangoes that we have in here. They're absolutely beautiful. I do not know the name of them just because this tree, she didn't know the name and didn't have the information, but and I don't have it, but they're absolutely beautiful. They're just gorgeous. So what we're gonna do is we are going to actually cut one of these mangoes open and give it a try. All right, so this mango has, I can tell it's really soft. It feels like it's very ready to be used. So let's see. Wow, look at that, friends. Beautiful mango. What I am actually going to end up doing is I am going to take the seed out, and I've already spoken to my dad. Look at that, juice is just dripping out of it. Y'all see that? Oh my gosh, friends, that's what you want to see. My dad and I talked, and what we're gonna do is we are actually gonna take the seeds, and my dad's gonna crack these seeds open, because there's a seed within, there's like a husk over the actual seed that will grow, and we're gonna put these in some buckets, and we're gonna start our own mango plants from her seeds, because we know that these are established or pretty well established, because hers obviously withstood the frost. And she's had this plant for apparently a little bit of time. And so that's what you want, is when you buy plants from nurseries, sometimes they're grown in like warehouses, or grown in areas that they're not really like acclimated to. So you can get a plant to grow, but to have it acclimated to your environment, that's a whole nother story. That's delicious. Yum. Yum. Tastes nothing like what you would get at the store. We should all know that by now. Growing your own food is one of the best ways to get good nutrients and just freshness from like your garden to your mouth, to your plate. This is exactly what you want to see. This is so wonderful, so divine. I can't stop eating it. This is amazing, amazing flavor, friends. I can't wait to get these started in my garden and get them growing in our yard. This is absolutely delicious. Now with all of these, what I'm probably gonna do is cube them like you've seen me cube them here. I just score them with the knife, flip the skin, and then I just like cut them. You can just take a knife if you don't wanna like use your hand. Just take a knife and just cut down. And then you'll have your little cubes. This is just phenomenal. This is like eating candy. I literally can't stop eating it. Friends, this is so good. I'm definitely gonna take every single seed and try to get them to start, because here in Florida we do have cold days, and I know for a while this plant's gonna need to be babied These plants, they're gonna need to be wrapped. They're gonna need to be able to be like picked up and put into safe areas when we get some cold weather, until they really get large enough that they're truly established and we can get some delicious fruit like this growing from it. But until then, friends, it's good to be blessed by your friends and acquaintances who have other plants. This is why trade worked really well, because you may have something that someone else doesn't have, or vice versa, and then you can share the deliciousness and goodness that is growing. So what a blessing. I did have my bananas up in the front. It was weird, the entire banana plant just fell over and died. So I don't know what's going on with that. But you win some, you lose some, and that's why you can't count your chickens before they hatch, so to speak, is because you just never know what is going to happen to your fruit. Like, we can anticipate and try to grow it and do the best we can, but this is really a wonky year. It is so hot when we step outside here in Florida, or at least for me, that it literally feels like I'm being microwaved. Like, it's this weird penetration going through my skin. And honestly, like, I know I work a lot in an office area, but for both my jobs, but honestly, like, it's just a very different feeling than when I felt like when I was a kid. I don't know if other people are experiencing that, but something just doesn't feel right for sure. But with that being said, friends, goodness gracious, thank you, Miss Dawn. What a blessing this is to be able to have this delicious mango. I am so blessed, and I cannot wait to try to start some of my own starts with this. This is gonna be amazing. All right, so the next thing that we have that came in the mail is, this is a mimosa plant. So I have this mimosa plant. I have been wanting to grow mimosa. I had a couple of mimosa plants previously, and I never got them planted in the ground. And so unfortunately, I ended up losing those plants. Now, mimosa can be invasive, so you will have to keep an eye on it should you choose to get a mimosa plant. But the thing I like about mimosa is it has, and do your own research as always with anything that I say. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. You do what's best for you and your family. But the flowers themselves can be turned into a tincture, which can be utilized for, let's just put it this way, some positive mental health. People with PTSD sometimes utilize the flower for a healing component. Now, I'm not telling you to go out and do that or buy that plant for that purpose. These plants make beautiful pink flowers. I think that that's just gorgeous, and I love it. I just love to add some beauty into my yard and my garden, and so that is really the purpose for me growing it. But if it comes with benefits, I do try to put plants into my yard that are going to benefit me or my friends or my family in some way, shape, or form. As you all know, I have repeatedly said this over and over, our groceries are getting outrageous. And so the more that I can grow here, the better I feel about life in general. We just went to the grocery store the other day and we got some rotisserie chickens for our pups at Costco. We got like a pack of ground beef, a thing of Olipop, and something else, I don't remember. And literally it was like around, honestly, like there's a couple other things we got, and it was like $300. So, I mean, friends, like, dipping into our wallets like this constantly, because it seems like everywhere you go, you can't walk out of a Publix or a grocery store without dropping like 100, 150 bucks. Like, and that, you're not even getting anything. You're just like getting something for like the day. That's not even like, you're not feeding your family for the week. Now, there's definitely frugal ways that you can do shopping and be better at it. But like the average person, at least for myself, the working person, is just gonna run in and get what they need. And then they're like, oh, hey, what's up? Like, how did I just drop 200 bucks? Like, how did I just drop 150 bucks? And so that's what I'm saying. If we can get these mangoes to produce, now obviously this is gonna take a while, but I always think of future generations anyway, so I'm thinking of my nephews. I am thinking of myself in the future, but I definitely think of my nephews and my niece on, if I can get these to grow, then they can come over here and pick them and get them when these are ready, or it will help and support my parents. At some point, these plants, if they live, and not get frostbite or something happens to them, they will help to alleviate the groceries somewhere. And even if that's not what it's about, which the book of Revelations talks about, that people will throw their gold and silver into the streets because they're hungry, because it will cost a day's wage, right? And so I am consciously aware of that, and so I want to put plants into this yard that I know that are going to support my family and my future family, like my nieces and my nephews, their families. Like, you can get a plant to sometimes live for a very long time, 20, 30, 40 years, depending on what the plant is, and have it actually produce fruit. Or you can take those seeds and then continue the generational line from that. And so that's what I want to do here, is take these seeds and just extend that out. Friends, we have to be doing what we can to help ourselves. That's a fact in this day and age. So until next time, friends, love one another, be kind, and I cannot wait to see you guys in my next video. Get with your friends, start networking, find people that are growing things or that don't want things. Like I said, her sister she's not really digging on the mango. I love mango. She loves mango. Network. It really will pay off, and you will get the love out of it.